Hello, all. It's Melinda. This is week 4 of our Stash Kit collaboration with Eileen from Scrapmazing. Just a reminder, this is our mood board we chose our kit from, so pulled the colors and designs from here. This week is a free cut file challenge. I've chosen this one from Paper Issues. I believe it's called Heart Wreath. It also comes with 3 hearts connected together in the cut file. Doesn't show it here in the picture though. I will link it below. My plan is to cut this on water paper and do a little bit of splashing and smooshing of inks while it's still on the cut mat, so it's a little easier. And then we'll peel it up and we will see what I decide. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on white cardstock or black cardstock. I have both in the kit. The photo I'm going to use is my husband and his mother. It is upstairs printing as I do this. So let me put you on fast forward. You can see how this works out, and thanks for watching. I've now cut the file and I laid it out on the mat so that I had all the extra pieces kind of here and there. First off, I'm going to use Heidi Swap Pink, and I'm just going to add some water and put it on a plastic. Just kind of smoosh it around. I'm not even sure what my plan is just to get color onto the hearts. No rhyme or reason of how I'm doing it. I'm unsure if I want it to be bold or to be kind of pastel-y. So at this point I'm iffy on my own idea. These two colors are Heidi Swap Butter and Heidi Swap Mustard. I just mixed them together. It wasn't giving me the yellow I wanted, so I mixed them. Now it comes across as, when I end up mopping it up, as almost a gold color. And I'm just using different pieces of plastic for each color because I'm unsure if I want to go back and do more, so I don't want to mix them up. It might create mud. And this is Mr. Huey's water cooler. Now I'm just going to spray all the different colors here and there and kind of mop it up so it's not too wet. And I'm not too concerned about it having like big blotches because when I pull the heart up, you don't actually see all of it. Now I'm just going to splatter the colors, all the colors around, including gold this time. And I just want it to, I don't know, be messy. I'm going to roll it off. And yeah, here's where I peel it up. Now it comes out as being really pastel-y, which is fine. But because it's so light, there's a part that didn't cut quite well, so I just used my scissors. I am decided that I am definitely going to put it on black paper because it come across as kind of pastel-y, and I wanted it to pop. Now I just push it down. I'm going to rotate it a couple times, but there's enough stick left on it from the mat that it's going to hold itself in position. I'm going to cut the photo down to the size I think I want it. I end up cutting it down more later on. I'm going to try, I think this needs a border, so I'm going to go through the papers I have left and kind of audition them. I try every one that I still have that's whole. And I end up sticking with the original one that's down now. I am going to end up gutting it so I don't waste any. I'm going to cut this down to 11.5 by 11.5, leaving me a 1/4 inch around each side. And I'm not going to gut it yet. I'm going to kind of play with the lid a little bit more. Just showing you kind of how it turned out. There's a little mark of pencil for some reason on there. Trying to think of what I'm off to get. I'm going to start pulling papers for the layers. Right off the bat, I want to bring in the green because that's the least color used in the wreath. So, but I also want to bring a third one. And at this point, I'm unsure of how I'm going to do this. I know the photo's going to go in the lower corner. I just don't know how I'm going to have it. I'm going to pull out the oxide inks in Cracked Pistachio, Fossilized Amber, and Worn Lipstick. And I'm going to kind of make them a almost watercolor so I can just splash around. And I do it with all three colors. In the leftover, I just kind of smoosh onto white cardstock so I don't waste it. I don't know what I'll do with those, but someday. I just hate to waste it. And I also splash around Heidi Swapp Gold right from the bottle. That Fossilized Amber is really bright. And it's just, I'm getting a water brush wet and swirling it around and getting the paint on it, or the ink, and just splashing. Now I'm not sure, yeah, it gets a little crazy there for a second. I'm not sure why that happened. These are the C'est La Vie letters. My title is still playing around in my head. I know I want My Mom is the best one I can come up with at this point. And that's about all I got. I know the title needs more, and I'm still going to keep thinking about it. I'm going to cut the strip off the bottom, and then I'm going to gut it. And this is how I gut mine. I lay this on here at the 12 by 12, and I lay the blade on the 11-inch mark, or the 11.5, depending on how much I want to leave. And I just leave it there and puncture the paper and pull it down to the next line. I find that if I hand cut it, it drives me nuts, and I end up wasting more paper trying to get the leftover straight so I can use it. So I found that I use it more if it's actually cut straight in a square. I'm starting to pull part of the stash parts out so I could start playing with this while that's drying, because I don't want to mop up the ink spots because I want them to be bold. I'm rotating it just to get the colors. Maybe I want kind of pink on both sides of it, I guess. I don't even remember why I did that. I'm going to use some tissue paper behind the photo, and this is where I'm going to realize that I need to cut the photo down because my 6x6 pad is only so big. I'm going to back the photo on leftover white. I just like the white border on the photo. I keep my scraps of white just right underneath my desk in a little bin so I can pull them out as I need them. Now, some of this is going to be off camera because I didn't realize that I was so low on my desk. But I stick one side down, then the other side with the tissue paper, and then I have all this excess in the back folded. Now, this was a bit much for this size photo, and I struggle a lot to get it to kind of stay and not move around. There really was no space for me to use washi tape to hold it this time. I'm going to trim it up. I'm just going to keep putting it against these layers that I think I'm going to use until I can get it right. Now see how loose it is? I have to kind of tack it down here or there. I should have just used less tissue paper. I'm going to stick some phone tape in the center of it, hoping that that holds it together more. I want a cut, or a ripped edge, I should say. I want a ripped edge on each side of that minty paper. So I'm just going to hold the ruler and do that. Now that is how the layers are going to stay. I'm going to move this around, trying to figure out where it looks good. I know I want more to the title, and I'm not sure what letters I'm going to use. I'm going to use some tags for journaling, because at this point I realize that I'm not going to have space for journaling, and I honestly hate writing in white. I've never had success, so I try to avoid that at all cost. I love these tags, and I realize that I'm not going to have much journaling on one, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say and how I'm going to use it. I ended up stapling that just to try to hold it. The adhesive wasn't working. Tucking those tissue layers in. Could have saved myself a lot of time if I had just used less tissue. I want some of the pink to show at the bottom, so I had to cut some more tissue off of it. This is just more scrap paper, and this is kind of what I do a lot when I want to tuck my journaling in. I make the back solid with one piece of cardstock, so it doesn't have layers to deal with. Lay the tag. Foam tape from Scott's. Cut it down to a narrow size so that it can just fit where I want it. Up tight against the tag so that the tag has space to move but yet not slide around. One piece on the bottom to hold the tag from sliding down, and just more foam tape to pop the rest of the layer up so that it doesn't get weak. Now, I've never done this before, adding a second tag. This will be the first time I try that. It worked, but I think it's a little bit harder to stick the tags in the right spot in the end, but it worked for what I needed. Now, this tag, I want to use a second tag. That pink is just not the tone I wanted to use, but I tried some other ones, but they're just not going to be the right. I just said, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it where I want it, stick on the foam tape on the sides and the bottom of it, just to hold it in place. And I'm going to stick a backer board on this one because it's already on a layer. And I change them around so that the gold is at the top. I really like that. I've never done that before. I'm thinking I need some washi tape. I need something more. I stick it down and pull it up. I try a different one. Just wasn't the look I was going for. I've pulled out my upholstery thread. And I got to remember to use some brads. I'm going to sew it down just 3 times around the circle-ish. It's kind of messy. I just kind of just tried to follow the center of the hearts, and they're really not kind of in a circle individually, so it was not really a circle. I'm trying to figure out what letter stickers I'm going to use or what else I'm going to put on here. I know I want some thread, so I'm going to wind some up and just stuff it in the layers, kind of messy like. At this point, I don't adhere. I just kind of stick it in there so I can see. And that whole photo cluster is not tacked down yet. I'm not sure how close I need to pull it depending on how my title is going to go. I'm going to take you through this really fast because this is a long title of lots and lots of little letter stickers. The above my mom says, "The way you say," and below it says, "brings tears of joy to my eyes." So the total title is, "The way you say my mom brings tears of joy to my eyes." And I put them in these little letter stickers. After I show you that, I'm going to fast forward to, there you go. There's all of them. I'm going to start putting them down. They're just kind of haphazardly stuck together, a little one above the other, overlapping each other, just so you can see the letter, but the whole tile isn't shown. And I'm going to hot glue them down, my mom, with just a little bit of glue. I'm finding that if I leave my hot glue gun plugged in, while I'm doing a layout, I tend to use it more. And things seem to go a little bit faster. I think I even used it to put the photo cluster down because I had it. I'm trying to figure out which brad I'm going to use. The brads just really aren't speaking to me for this layout. I don't know if it's the colors that are in them or the style of them. I haven't bought brads in years, so what I have is what I have. I'm not sure why this is kind of blurry. I apologize, it clears up. I'm thinking I need a label, but I didn't put any labels in my stash kit, so I take a piece of paper that I have from the kit and I draw a little banner on it. I don't end up using it, but that was my thought, is that I needed something to either put a date or a landing spot for these brads. So instead I decided to stick them around the wreath, kind of like on the stitch line on the hearts in little clusters, and I do 3 little clusters. I start out with 3 brads in the 3 clusters, but then I change out 1 brad for the candied heart stickers. I move them around here and there. I'm not loving it, so that's why it's taking me so long. But I did promise to use brads on every layout. And I didn't really put anything else in my kit that I would typically use for this application of kind of scattering embellishments around. That was kind of short-sighted of me, I guess. Now I'm just trying to search through the stuff I have left and try to figure out what I want to do. I do put 3 hearts on the photo in a cluster. They're see-through, so it's really just a texture you kind of see on the photo with a little hint of color, because they're clear. I like it. So I pull out the color of brad. I pull off the color of brad that I have a heart sticker in, so that I still have all 3 colors of kind of the minty, the gold, and the pinky corally color in all 3 clusters. I use the hot glue gun. Sorry about my head. I'm trying not to burn my fingers on the little ones, so I just put a blob down and set them down. I've never done brads this way, but it seems to be really fast. I think I'm loving my hot glue gun. Those were the extra. I was looking through and I decided I wanted to use a label, and I chose just Love You. I took a quick look through it more, but couldn't find another one I like, so the Love You is what I end up sticking with. I'm going to put this waxed cord in my tags. It's not that easy to stick both of them back in there, so that might be a difficulty, but I knew I had more to say than just one tag, and I wasn't going to write on the gold part, so okay, I'm going to draw lines, and I'm going to go through this quick, but I'm going to read this to you as it's playing. It says, "You have always told me there is my mom, and then there is everybody else. She is humble and strong and a great role model for our girls. I love that you have so much respect for her. I just hope my children think as much of me when they are adults. Love you always." Just showing you some close-ups. She's less than 5 foot tall. Just going to show you the tags slide up. They slide really easily. When you pull them all the way out, though, they're going to be more difficult to put in. This ends up being layout 66 of 2017. And I just write in the back that this was a stash collab kit with Eileen from Scrapmazing. Here are some picture close-ups for you. Please check out Eileen's page. If you like what you see here and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We have a few more layouts in this series. Plus, I have more collaborations coming up with others and video hops that I'm participating in. So thank you. See you again. Bye.